without any hindrance, without any disturbance. Ulfa had submitted a set of demands. Now, if you go back into history, Ulfa was born basically under the perceived threat of the Assamese identity. So naturally, whatever demands they make will be centering around the protection of Assamese identity. And yes, I agree that we are very close to reaching a final kind of settlement with Ulfa. I am not in a position to give you the details because this will raise controversies. However, we are satisfied and we are happy that things have moved in a positive direction and should not take us too long to give a finality to our talks with the group. As far as NSC and IM is concerned, to my mind, I don't think we have moved much. They have given up their demand for sovereignty. They have given up their demand for Nagalim and integration of Naga areas for the time being, as they say, and submitted to the government a paper which is yet to be responded to because it involves not the union government at Delhi, but the states of Manipur, Assam, and Arunachal, and to the least degree, Nagaland. Important thing to remember here is that from Nagaland we are hearing a voice of the people and certain other groups that while Government of India has been talking to NSC and IM, what about the Nagas of Nagaland? Now that is a major issue. Even if imagining that we reach a kind of settlement or conclusion with the NSC and IM, what is the guarantee that the Nagas of Nagaland will be willing to accept that agreement? So these are still uncharted waters, and we are standing on a really very, very shaky ground. And I can't tell you with any certainty as to what shape the whole issue will take at the end of it. Because in its own wisdom, at certain stage, the Government of India had agreed that it will talk only to NSC and IM as the representative of the Nagas. But in reality, on the ground, we don't find it to be correct. There are other Naga groups who have their own issues, who have their own problems. and ignoring their voice completely and reaching a settlement which may or may not be acceptable to the local Nagas of Nagaland will lead us nowhere but problems. It will be very, very problematic. So on that front, I don't think we should be in too much of a hurry. We have been hearing from NSE and IM that they have been talking for the last so many years. But the fact is that the paper they have submitted, they have exchanged or rather given to the government of India was only in July 2011. So, to me, effective date of talking would be post that date when they gave the paper. So we need not think in terms of their talking to Government of India for the last 12 years or 13 years or 14 years or whatever. It would be at best 2 years and a few months. And for such a vexed problem, which has been there for the last more than 60 years, to be talked about in only 2 years and to arrive at a solution in a complex situation is not possible. So, my sincere advice to people and also request will be that they should think that the actual negotiation has started post July 2011, not before that. Because before that there was no paper. And even if there was a paper, it was non-negotiable.
So it means the talk is only 2 years old, something like that.
Something like that. I would put it like that. I can't put it that the talk is going on since 96 or 97 or 98 or 2001 or 2002. Once you give a paper which might be workable, then only you can claim that we have formally started the talk. Before that, if there is a paper which is non-negotiable as far as the Government of India is concerned, then I don't see it as a process of talk having been started.
Because here,
I said they have not given it up.
okay, for the time being.
They have given it up for the time being.
Okay. So this involvement of Assam, Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, and least degree of Nagaland. Does it mean that this integration issue?
No, even without integration,
Okay.
since there are some Nagas, as claimed by the group living in Arunachal, there are some Nagas living in Assam, and then there are Naga areas in Manipur. Naturally, their interest lies there. They want something for these Nagas also. Not only for the Nagas of Nagaland.
Okay, I will have one more question, sir, and then after that my colleagues can pick up. So now this statehood demand, say we have cookies and demanding a stay, and then at the same time in Assam also, and then in Meghalaya. So how does the central view of these demands, the clamoring for states?
I mean, you can't be having 5 people and claim for a state. You need to have a sufficient enough area, sufficient enough population, sufficient enough resources to ultimately be able to sustain a state. Otherwise, we are looking at a situation, and which I still believe to be true, that every village is a republic.
Yeah.
It need not be a state, it need not be a nation. It itself is a republic. The village itself is sovereign. And the sovereignty of the village gives sovereignty to the nation.
So, sir, are you saying that these demands are not feasible?
I am not ruling out anything, but to be very frank, to my mind, in a mixed kind of society and polity, where you have different communities living together, it is very, very difficult to even contemplate that you can create a state out of a state which is already probably of the minimum size. That's my personal opinion. Suresh, you carry on your talks here, I am not joining the talks. Anybody breaking the rules of zoo, seen outside with weapon, should be dealt according to the law. If he can be arrested, he should be arrested. If he resists arrest, all effort should be made that his resistance is neutralized and he is arrested. Worse come to worse, if he fires, he should be fired upon. These are clear rules which we have communicated to everybody. There is no compromise on that.
Sir, will this kind of peace talk and suspension operation will continue as such things are going on?
No, not beyond a point. Not beyond a point. There can be no compromise on safety and security of the public.
Will there be any further talk with the groups? They are demanding different states and demanding for their own benefit.
We do have to talk to them. We have to give them the right kind of input. We have to make them understand the realities as they exist on the earth. We can't be ignoring them completely to frustrate them and to allow them to resort to the means which are not healthy for the society. We have to engage them, we have to convince them that what is feasible can be done, what is not feasible cannot be done, and why it cannot be done. As a citizen of this country, every individual has a right to understand what is right, what is wrong.
What about the alternative arrangement
What alternative arrangement?
demanded by this UNC, United Nations Council?
That's what we don't understand. What alternative arrangement? There is a country, there is a state. In the state, there is a government elected by the people of the state. Now, what alternative arrangement?
Apart from this peace talks and suspension operation, in connection with this border fencing, what observation have you made and what steps should be taken?
You see, it's very clear that people along the border have never had the concept of a border. They never knew what is the zero line, what is the boundary line. They would go anywhere, settle anywhere, cultivate anywhere. And when the issue of finalizing the border came up, and then the people were informed that as per the agreement, as per the treaty, here is the line, their houses, some structures were found to fall across the line, and they started agitating. But then we are dealing with an international issue. It is not a domestic issue. So first of all, the people need to be told that there is something called international boundary. And if you want to be a citizen of India, you better be in India within the boundary, not across the boundary. Because if you are across the boundary, you don't belong to India. This is a kind of new concept which the people are faced with today. Number one. Number two, there are certain boundary pillars which are disputed and which are accepted by our neighbor also, that yes, these pillars are disputed. We need to resolve the dispute amicably and then give the people a line that beyond this you don't go. As far as the issue of fencing is concerned, we have stopped it for a while till we recheck the pillars and their location, and although these pillars are settled, wherever the fencing is going on or was going on, the pillars are not under dispute. But we will still check, recheck, re-verify, and then only do anything, whatever is to be done.